Currency.
Like a couple Bitcoins.
Money,
Hold up on my Nakamoto.
Hello. Welcome once again to another episode of the Blockchain Dynamics Show.
That is right.
My name is Brandon Doach.
And I'm Woody.
We're here. It is Sunday, August 13th, 2017.
And it is episode number 74 today.
That's right, 74.
Nice.
Another week. Couple hours late today, but we are still in business.
Yep, we keep going over here at Blockchain Dynamics.
Well, the game don't quit.
The game don't quit, so we don't quit.
That's the thing. That's just how it goes. It never stops.
We are brought to you by Cryptopia. That's over at cryptopia.co.nz.
That's right. Do not forget to check out Cryptopia. They're an excellent altcoin platform. Ton of new features. They're constantly doing updates to this thing. You can see it even as a trader. You can tell that they're working hard at always improving the site's features, of which there are a great many.
Yep.
In addition to the exchange, they have a ton of coin information, arbitrage information, and also just like forums, chat features, all the fun stuff.
They also have a forum, like Brandon said, and over in that forum is an altcoin section. At the top of that altcoin section, there's a Blockchain Dynamics thread sticky. And if you head over there and say hi, we appreciate it. We got some great feedback this week, and we'll follow through with some of that.
That's right. We're going to be checking out some of those user suggestions later in the show. But yeah, do stop by our thread. We'll send some dots your way. Dots, of course, are the native currency of Cryptopia. You're going to want those dots. And that's why we're going to give away 10,000 of them later in the show.
Yep, we love giving away dot, and we do it live on the show. So we'll ask a question, and we'll see what kind of answers we get. For example, last week's question was, how many waves does it cost to create an asset in Wallet? The answer was 1 waves.
Just 1 waves.
That one was a little bit easier than our normal question, I think. This one's a little trickier this week, and it's worth a little more.
It is harder. Although that 1 waves price does kind of explain why there's so many waves assets popping up these days.
I think it does.
Alrighty, so let's jump in. We're going to start it off as per usual with the news.
News.
Love the news here at Chain Dynamics. First up, Tezos. They're in the news this week. And that's because they're throwing down $50 million of their ICO funds to support people that are developing utilities and stuff on the Tezos network. That's kind of my understanding here.
Okay.
So they are essentially going to direct this money that was from their ICO into other projects that are going to be using the Tezos network.
Huh. So how do people go about, do they apply for like a scholarship or something? Or
that's a great question. I don't think the details like that have been fully announced.
Okay.
That's a good question. I'd be curious to know. Tezos, one of their big things is that it's kind of a enhanced governance blockchain. There's a lot more elements of the blockchain that are open to consensus with Tezos.
Right.
And that's kind of, I guess, their distinguishing feature. So I'm curious to know, is some of that going to be put to work here? Or
yeah.
Or is it potentially still, it might be way too early for that, right? I'm not sure.
It's an interesting idea, though.
What level of progress the actual Tezos chain is at right now. But
so
yeah, that's a good question. How are they going to decide who gets the cash here? Is it cash, or are they going to be getting paid in Tezos or Ethereum, Bitcoin?
There's an interesting line in this article where it says that they are holding their Bitcoin Cash tokens and intend to gradually sell these assets. It's pretty straightforward there,
Selling off the Bitcoin Cash, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's probably a nice little boost to their bankroll there.
For sure. It says that because if they brought in 65,620 BTC, it would stand to reason that that's how many Bitcoin Cash they had as well.
So they haven't sold any yet, because they're probably looking pretty good on that right about now.
They don't say they haven't sold any, but they say that they're going to gradually sell them.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm sure that a big boost like that to an ICO might be the perfect reason to use some of that money in this way too, right?
Right, that's what I'm thinking. If they haven't sold their Bitcoin yet, they're probably up $50 million just on Bitcoin value alone at this point. So wouldn't surprise me that they now have a little bit more cash than they thought to work with. Of course, this is crypto. That could change in a day. Right. But yeah, cool news there out of Tezos. I'm curious to see how this all plays out, and interested to see. I'm interested to see Tezos actually get into the working phase, because it's always exciting when actual new platforms launch.
Right.
And so we'll see what they can come up with.
Cool.
That is Tezos and their $50 million venture capital fund.
Bitfinex made another announcement this week. This time they are dropping the U.S. customers.
That's it. It's done. So does this mean that this means I can no longer sign up for Bitfinex if I'm a U.S.
You definitely
person?
can't get any verification if you're a U.S. customer anymore. And it sounds to me like I haven't been a Bitfinex trader, so I'm not super in tune with this part, but it seems from what I'm reading that they were not very compatible with U.S. banks for quite a while.
Right. I mean, that's been news like since the start of the year when I think they were going through Wells Fargo before, and that channel got shut down, and so they've been kind of scrambling ever since. And this seems like the logical conclusion of it. They're just essentially withdrawing from the U.S. consumer market altogether.
I mean, it makes sense from what they described as well that the U.S. customers are just such a small portion of their overall customers, yet require most of their support attention.
So if they're saying they're not verifying new customers, that kind of implies that existingly verified customers would still have access to the service. Do you know if there's a...
I sort of was under that impression as well, but I'm not sure what good being a verified U.S. customer does for you at that point either, because you can't interact with any U.S. banks anyway.
They're saying, actually, over the next 90 days, we will be discontinuing services to our existing U.S. customers. So everyone's done, I guess.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. No more U.S. customers on Bitfinex.
Yet another reason to go for that Estonian citizenship.
It's true. Let's see. Yeah, it's true. What's that?
The digital citizenship.
What's that thing called? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, Estonia has like an digital identity verification system. So
like that.
But if you're still I wonder if that system would still have you be registered as a U.S. person.
Honestly, I never
their system.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
I didn't look that far into it. It's just in the back of my mind lately.
It'd be cool. We should check it out. We should sign up for it. Alrighty, other altcoin news this week. We have delistings aplenty.
Yep, I guess it's about time for a round of delistings. We got a big list on Novaexchange. It's not even worth reading.
Yeah, we don't have to go through all these. Do any of them stand out? A lot of these that are getting delisted are like proof of work chains that aren't working anymore, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, mostly. Nope, nothing stands out to me.
Yep, so it is quite a large list. I was wondering how Novaexchange was handling that because they add so many coins.
Yeah.
But it looks like they do. When they delist, they don't hold back. There's a ton of coins on this list.
And then Bittrex announced that on August 25th they're going to drop Nautilus and that BitCNY.
Nautilus is done on T-Rex.
Still on Polo somehow. Like we haven't seen
Hanging
that. I
on.
don't think we've seen that relation for a while, right?
Yeah. That is funny.
The Bittrex delist, but Polo hold.
You know, the flip has happened there. T-Rex has been bringing in way more volume, so I'm curious.
Yeah, they might not have the incentive to continue holding or continue hosting certain low volume coins like that, whereas maybe Poloniex doesn't care anymore.
Yep.
Funny.
So no, Nautilus off the list. Also, BitCNY getting delisted from Bittrex. That's like USDT is a US dollar peg coin. BitCNY is a Chinese yuan peg coin.
Okay.
And it just never caught on volume-wise. You know, there was a period when Chinese yuan was like the dominant fiat trading pair. And then after the PBOC clampdowns and stuff, that kind of faded. And I think the fortunes of BitCNY probably faded.
Interesting.
At the same time.
Has it been able to hold its peg? Do you have any idea?
I haven't paid attention. Last time I looked at it, which was quite a while ago, it was the peg was still in place.
Huh. Okay.
So that's T-Rex. And Cryptopia also doing a ton of delistings. There's a lot here. And it's kind of the same story as with Novaexchange. Most of this is just coins that have insecure blockchains or just not
working properly.
Right. Yep. So it's cool that they delist them. That's one of the things Yobit gets a lot of heat for is they just leave those broken chains on their exchange forever.
All right.
And that is the delistings.
You'll have to tell me a little bit about this next piece, Brando, because I only heard about it through like memes, essentially.
Okay, so this is a story we wanted to comment on that's been circulating for a lot of the popular cryptocurrency news and stuff. It's about this spoofing bot that is supposedly manipulating the price of Bitcoin in a huge way. And so the premise of this this article, I think it was a Steemit article that was posted originally, is essentially that a huge whale with many, many millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin or dollars on the exchange is placing huge buy and sell walls to manipulate the market. Then the contention goes on to say that essentially that this bot is one entity and that it's also operating on other exchanges, including GDAX, and that the shenaniganry of this large spoofing bot is contributing to the current Bitcoin bull run.
Okay.
That's the premise.
Sort of like the bot that was blamed for the previous bull run.
The Willy bot,
Yeah.
the famous MTGOX Willy bot.
So that's similar, right?
Yes, there is. There's a lot of parallels here. They're also accusing this Spoofy is what they're calling it. They're accusing this bot of doing a ton of wash trading and stuff where it's like trading with itself to fake volume.
Interesting. Well, I mean, we've seen that on every crypto exchange we've ever traded on.
So yeah, that's the thing
That's not a surprise.
That's what kind of didn't resonate with me about this article is it's like spoofing is a fact of life in cryptocurrency markets. It occurs on every single market on large and small scales.
Right.
It's just constantly there. And so it's hard for me to buy the connection between, they're saying, oh, the same spoofing bot on GDAX is the same one on Bitfinex. How could you tell? These markets are spoofed constantly by multiple parties all the time. So it's not surprising it wouldn't be surprising for me to see similar indicators on the market of spoofing when it could be multiple sources, individual sources. You just don't know.
Right.
This is the point I'm trying to make. Spoofing.
So is it kind of is it somebody kind of pointing out the power that a whale can have in the market? I mean, I appreciate that in a way.
Yeah,
that's real, I guess. But I mean, I don't even see it as manipulation inside of this cryptocurrency trading context, honestly. Even though I guess it's directly attempting to manipulate the market, so maybe I should. But I'm maybe what I mean to say is, I don't view it as a negative thing.
It's just, for us, it's always been a fact of the markets. They've always been that way, I guess. So it's hard for me to.
Well, plus, I mean, if some spoofy bot is trying to do its thing, and I can follow its pattern and increase my portfolio in the process, I don't really care that that whale has all of the coins or whatever.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, man, I totally agree. So the difference between this and the Willy bot is that the Willy bot on MTGOX was just like a buying bot. All it would do is buy coins off the market and run the price up. And so this is, this is a fully featured bot that's doing all kinds of different things. But one of the things it's not being accused of is running up the price just with huge buys. They're saying that it's running up the price through fake buy walls and fake volume, buying and selling from itself.
Yeah, you let other people do the actual buying and selling for the most part.
Right, but the thing is that can only get you so far. At some point, the bot
you can get your bluff called big time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody could fire a huge freaking sell right into you.
Yeah,
and in this case, they're also saying that it's the exchange owners are in cahoots with the operators. So
of course they would say that.
And again, at that point, it's just hard. It's hard to say. Essentially, it wouldn't surprise me if it turned out to be true that the exchange operators were in cahoots with large whales and doing huge spoofing and stuff on the market. Like, that would not surprise me.
Nothing surprises us anymore.
But I found the evidence in the claim to be insufficient of supporting that. Spoofing, it happens in the markets all the time. So
interesting.
You can't really call out specific people without having better evidence.
It would be nice if the spoofy bot operator would put it on the Ethereum BTC market for a while.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously. That market's been looking rough.
All right.
So that's Spoofy. Just be careful out there. These markets are subject to manipulation and
on every size.
Yeah, every size and scale imaginable. People are trying to get away with it. It's just part of the Wild West crypto thing.
Just be glad we have good, at least decent order matching nowadays.
Yeah, back in the days. Yep, Crypto Rush is no more.
All right. Let's move into our markets segment.
Alrighty. We're going to dive into the markets. Another crazy week in the markets. We say that every week, but...
yeah, it just keeps being crazy.
It hasn't cooled off yet. So the big news, of course, another Bitcoin all-time high.
Oh, my goodness. Bitcoin is
Holy
up
crap.
$791 this week to $4,049 at the time of our report run.
Yep. That was like a couple hours ago at this point. But Bitcoin up $790. Another week where the weekly change is more than the price of Bitcoin was like a year ago.
Awesome.
That's a 24.2% gain And Bitcoin now at a 66.8 billion market cap.
Yep. And although
Really running.
the Ethereum Bitcoin market has been taking a hard hit, the Ethereum USD market is just still up this week, up $30.7 to $295 at the time of the shot.
You got to call out this Ethereum flash crash that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
As Bitcoin was doing its all-time high thing. Poloniex Bitcoin Ethereum market just completely let go at one point.
Yeah.
Dropped from like 0.07
maybe to 0.04 or something like that.
Yeah, down to 0.04, 0.05 range, just in a couple of minutes, like some of the craziest 1-minute candles that you'll ever see on Ethereum. It's funny to see another flash crash on Ethereum, a completely different market this time.
Yep.
I'm curious to know to what extent, swaps margin calls and that kind of thing played into this.
There was that
And
Omis Go airdrop thing too.
Oh, interesting. That was to ETH token holders, right?
Right.
So maybe people were buying ETH and then there was a dump to...
They're like, I don't need this anymore.
Maybe that could have triggered the...
Yeah.
Those
are all
the
just
first
ideas.
stops and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was localized to Poloniex. Bittrex didn't see nearly as much of a drop. It was interesting. There was actually like 10% standing price difference on Ethereum price between Poloniex and Bittrex, which is...
How long did that last? Like 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
Just a few minutes.
Yeah.
But for a market of that size, that's something that's pretty unusual to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Always be careful out there with Ethereum. What's Ethereum chilling at now? It was at about 295 when we did our snapshot there.
Yep.
Just hanging on, man. It's really struggling around this 300 range.
So, out of the top 99 coins on CoinMarketCap, 54 of them are up versus USD this week, and 24 of them are up versus Bitcoin.
So we got over half of the coins up versus US dollar. Way under half making gains versus Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So, how does this fit compared to what we're used to, right?
I felt like a lot of the coins, Bitcoin price, they like wanted to not believe the USD rise in Bitcoin there for a little bit, right?
Right.
It's got to go down is what everybody is easy to feel that way.
Yep.
When it didn't go down and just continued to reach those new all-time highs, people realized that regardless of maybe whether their coin was in profit BTC versus, they were all of a sudden in profit versus USD, and they started taking advantage of that.
Right. It seemed like we'd seen in the past couple weeks leading up to this that Bitcoin had been overperforming altcoins a little bit, but the USD values were still keeping up in a pretty big way. And it seems like that trend kind of kept up like into the high 3,000s, where alts were slipping, but they were still gaining in USD value.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of seems like we turned a little bit when this final run up to like 4,200 happened. We saw a lot of alts just let go completely to the point where their USD values were starting to take hits.
Yep.
We saw it with Ethereum. Obviously, was the biggest example of that.
Yeah.
But that tends to cascade down the market, and a lot of altcoins took huge hits late in the week, like really right when Bitcoin did that huge run.
Mm-hmm.
So even though altcoins did end up still up about 10% in US dollar value, at least the top 100 are still up about 10% US dollar value at the end of the week. They took a huge turn towards the end there. And that's an 11% loss versus Bitcoin for the top 100.
Okay.
So curious to see what the average and median numbers look like this week. The median altcoin actually got killed this week, down 18% versus Bitcoin. I guess that's still flat versus USD.
Yep. And then the average is down 7.16 versus Bitcoin and up 16% versus USD.
So this is a common dynamic. A lot of losers, basically.
Yep. There's usually those few big winners that kind of help out in this sense of the overall stats, but rough week for altcoins in a certain way.
So let's see who survived, who did the best here in this
week's
mixed
gainers.
market for alts.
We see StorageCoin, or StorageX, whatever it's called now, up 224%.
Nice.
Civic was up 139%. That Omis Go is up 95%. Pillar up 74%. And 10x up 73%.
That is just a big old list of Ethereum tokens right there. Interesting.
Yeah, the Ethereum tokens had a moment there the other day.
That's cool. I'm curious to see when we do our Ethereum
Yeah.
index what that looks like then. On the losers side this week, Byteball took a 55% hit. BitDeal down 49%. Verge down 47%. Digibyte down 43%. And Veritasium down 43%.
All right.
And those are all versus Bitcoin numbers. So you think about those gainers doubling up versus Bitcoin on a week where Bitcoin's up 25%. That's a good look for a handful of coins. I think that explains how, despite the medians being so terrible, these big winners are managing to push things up.
Now, I feel like Neo would be on this list, except that because of its name change, it didn't get picked up from the analysis for some reason.
That is correct, yep.
Yeah.
Neo would be in the gainers most likely. But essentially last week it's looking for Ant shares, and this week it's looking for Neo, so it doesn't match them up.
Yep.
Alrighty, so that's the top 100. Always fun to see how those top 100 coins are doing. Also nice to see which coins got kicked out of the top 100 and which coins jumped into the top 100. Getting dropped out was Ant shares, just because of the name change. Namecoin, Gulden, Viacoin, Counterparty, Zarum, Faircoin, Monacoin, Ion, BitBay, Cloakcoin, and Zcoin all kicked out of the top 100. That's a big shakeup.
Coming into the top 100, we got Neocoin in there as well because it's new. ICO, Gas, Bytom, Bitquence, Binance Coin, District 0x, Lunar, Monaco, Rialto, Ad Token, and No Limit Coin.
The absurdity of the market cap metrics is starting to become more apparent with the ways. I love the market cap metric, and it's like one of the best tools that we have to look at stuff. But people are getting better and better at manipulating their product to create high market caps.
The lowest cap on the top 100 this week is about 30 mil.
Not bad. And that's Token Card, I think, is the number 100 there. All right, interesting week for the top 100. Kind of confirms, I think, what we were expecting. My question is, are we ever going to get that positive correlation back where alts and Bitcoin go up together? Because, man, those were good days.
Yeah, that was nice.
I keep waiting for it. All right, this Bitcoin dip is going to be like when alts pop off, and alts are just no, I'm going to keep crashing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Also want to take a quick look down the list of market caps this week to see, do we have any divergences as we get into the lower market cap ranges as far as with this Bitcoin craziness, or is it kind of just consistent across the whole range?
Sure.
So the next list I'm looking at is the 100 to 200 ranked coins. This list includes stuff like Blackcoin on the high range and Gambit on the low range, with the lowest market cap on the list about 7.5 million right now. The number 200. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, not bad.
Alrighty, so what do we got on the list here? This index is down about 6% versus Bitcoin this week, up about 18 versus USD. So it performed a little bit better than the top 100.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting, but not
the median's almost identical.
Yeah, still within the range, and that's what we found is the more different ways we chop up these coin market cap numbers, the more we tend to see the same thing. We don't tend to see a lot of divergences on any different basket of coins, and so to see this, within range is pretty normal, I guess.
Cool.
So jumping into the 200 to 300 list. This list is down 6.6% versus Bitcoin, up 17% versus USD. Pretty much exactly the same as the last 100 list.
Yep.
And that goes down to about 2.3 million on the low range there for the market cap.
All
right, let's jump into the 300 to 400 ranked coins.
Okay.
What
happened down here?
So the way that we calculate this is we go to last week's coins and say what was the 300 to 400 coins last week, and then we see how all of those coins are this week.
So they may not be in the 300 to 400 this week with their comparison.
Right. For instance, Fedora coin was rank 330 or something last week. This week it's at rank 187, so that was the big winner. But this index overall gained about 50% versus Bitcoin this week. Huge moves in the low caps this week.
Which looks like put it up 87% versus USD.
Jesus. And so that's cool to see, I guess. You're all right, maybe there's something there. But when we dive in a little bit deeper, let's take a look at that median change. Median change in the 300 to 400. minus 16%.
It's right back there at it.
Right exactly where we were. So it's like that loss, that minus 16% range seems to be pretty consistent across altcoins. And what we have is a few of these small caps doing like huge outsized pumps that's driving up the value of the entire range. And so this week that was Vprocoin up 614%, Link up 135%,
Cryptoping
up 74%.
Tokes up 35%, and Legends Room up 32%.
So yeah, when you have a list of small market caps, one big winner can really drive up the numbers really for everybody.
Yep. Interesting. And the lowest cap on that list would have been around 218,000.
Yep, that was Joincoin is the lowest on the list. Toward the big side of that list is like Start, Renos, TransferCoin.
Okay.
All right, cool stuff. So yeah, once again, pretty consistent numbers throughout the top 300, but then starts to get a little crazier in the low caps. Another thing we've been keeping track of in markets is a couple of custom coin indexes. We're wondering if like different themes of coins do better and worse in certain market conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So we got gaming coins as a list, and we have Masternode coins as a list.
Our Masternode list is, I'm noticing more and more coins we're missing, but I haven't had a chance to update it yet.
That was some fresh
but that's okay. We'll get to that. I'm just making it known.
It's all good. All right. So gaming coins, how they doing this week? They are getting killed, down 25% versus Bitcoin, down 8% versus USD.
This is not the gaming coins week. So, Brando, do I buy the dip on gaming?
That's a good question, man. Maybe that could potentially be a takeaway here. Driving down gaming coins this week is game credits. That's the biggest coin on the list, so it has an outsized effect.
Yeah.
But we also had First Blood getting annihilated this week, and also some classics, gold pieces, Trollcoin, Huntercoin, all down.
Yep.
Whew. Tough week for these gaming coins, man. There's only two coins on the list that gained versus Bitcoin. That was Litecoin, which has such a low market cap that it's...
Litecoin either just gained 50% or lost it.
yeah, exactly. Somebody bought it on one side of the spread or the other, essentially. Nexium up 3%, holding on. NXC is kind of an interesting one. People have forgotten about it a little bit.
Wow, I've never seen a list of ours where some of the highest gainers are negative.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, Databits is the third best performing gaming coin right now at minus 14% versus Bitcoin. So tough week for the gaming coins.
Interesting.
Another divergence there. A lot more divergences this week than we've had.
That's at least a negative divergence, right?
Yeah, this is gaming
in one direction.
Yeah, this is gaming coins underperforming.
Yeah.
An already mixed market.
We'll take it.
All right, so what are the Masternode coins doing?
These love tracking the market so far.
Yeah, nothing exciting. Down 11% versus Bitcoin, up 10% versus USD. That tracks just exactly with the top one.
I think it's because it's just such a average grab bag of coins. Like having the Masternode technology is just apparently not a defining factor yet as far as the divergence we're looking for.
It's interesting. It's such a huge factor in the marketing. It seems to be a huge factor in the buzz and the community energy a lot of times.
Definitely,
but
yeah.
What we're not seeing is it making a big difference as far as the market.
And there's always winners and losers within that.
Definitely, yeah. We've seen it normally with a pretty large divergence. One of them, we might have to get rid of iCash. It's been dropping in and out of CoinMarketCap, so that might get dropped from our Masternode index. Alrighty, so rounding up the markets, we got one more report for you here.
Nice. This one, I'm interested to know how it went.
And this is the Ethereum tokens.
Because they did have that. They had either a day or half a day or something where they were going nuts on Bittrex.
It seemed like ETH tokens were hot this week, and we are seeing that played out in the numbers here. We've got Ethereum index change versus Bitcoin minus 2.8%.
Okay.
That is the best of any of the indexes by a pretty good margin, a few percent.
Yeah.
And that gives them a USD change of plus 21%. One thing that shows is that no matter what you were invested in this week, you would have been better off with Bitcoin.
Yeah, would have been a good week to have that corn. But
that said, some huge winners in here too. We had a average gain of 14%. That's by far the best.
Sneaky Lunar's up 341%. Ooh. Wow.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That popped down from rank 200 all the way to 86 in 1 week. Ethereum Movie Venture bounced back. It's up 145%. That one's been really volatile.
That's really volatile, yeah.
Civic up 139, BitPark up 80, and Pillar up 74%. Big numbers.
Wow, yeah. Civic was one of the overall winners too, right?
Yep.
On the other side of the fence, there's that useless Ethereum token, down 44%. Zarum down 39%. Minerium down 34%. Golem down 31%. And EOS down 30%.
Still some big hits in there. Interesting.
All right.
I need to get Omi's Go will be added next week. I don't have that in the rankings yet for the Ethereum list, but it will be in there next week.
Awesome. So that's most of the market news. Overall, alts are sitting at 68.5 billion. That's up about 15.7% from 59.2 billion.
That feels about right. We have Bitcoin dominance at 49.4. That's about a 2% gain there. And Ethereum dominance at 40.2. So they're down about 2%.
All right.
I think that kind of fits in with...
Feels right.
Fits in with what we've been seeing on the markets out there. And all eyes on Bitcoin. Will be really interesting to see what happens after this, right? Last time that Bitcoin had a huge run like this, it's hard to make a comparison, I guess.
Yeah.
There was the run up to before the ETF announcement happened, and then alts were getting killed then, and then the ETF announcement happened, and then that's when Bitcoin and alts kind of started to move together. And that persisted for quite a while, like until Bitcoin got up to around 3,000. You had that Bitcoin and alts moving up together dynamic. And obviously on this latest run, alts been getting beat up a little bit. So, is there going to be like... What I've kind of been expecting is a Bitcoin correction and then alts to jump off again, right?
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense to me because I think that just the way that I feel... So people realize that they've made profit in USD on their alts, even though they're down versus BTC, and they sell because they're like, oh, heck yeah. But then once they either realize that gain in BTC or fail to do so in the amount of time that they needed to, then they're going to take another look at that alt, and they're going to say, oh, dang, this is cheap. It's even worth... It's actually... It went down in BTC from where I sold it to, so I can get more. I can get back in.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. And that seems like, if we get into a situation where it's like a big correction and then, a nice, like, kind of attempt for Bitcoin to retest the all-time high, I think we might see that dynamic come back where the alts are going up with Bitcoin again. But I'm a little curious about the other dynamic, right? Let's say, let's pretend 4190 is the top.
Okay.
Obviously, no way to know that.
Yeah.
But if it is, what's that going to look like? We'll get a big crash on Bitcoin. Is it still going to try and retest that top? Or are you going to have that boom on alts? Or is it going to be the beginning of the... you could see it turn the other way too.
For sure.
So whereas like around the time of the ETF when alts had been going down for a really long time and seemed, they seemed like they had more upside at that point. Since then, alts have gone up overall, 20, 30x or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see, are they going to have the ability to bounce off of a Bitcoin correction like they did in March? Or are they already so inflated that they're going to be at risk of just of kind of taking a hit with Bitcoin?
Yeah, those are good questions.
And we'll find out. When it happens, we'll run the numbers, see how it went down.
Well, it's nice that we're, one thing I always have really loved about cryptocurrency is just being on the edge and never knowing what's going to actually happen next.
Yeah.
Like, let's just, take a few guesses.
Yeah, and of course, who can't be happy with Bitcoin at $4,000?
Yeah,
It's
right.
unbelievable, right?
Come on.
It's been said a few times, but if you haven't taken any profit on this Bitcoin run, you might consider treating yourself a little bit.
All right.
Boom, that's the markets. Crazy stuff, man.
Now, I think it is time for our DOT giveaway.
Oh, we're giving away some DOT.
Giving away 10,000 DOT.
You stuck with us through a lot of numbers, so now we got another number for you. That's 10,000 dots.
Yeah, it's worth about $75, honestly.
Not bad.
The way that our giveaways work are they are available to the live listeners, so not the archive listeners, and that's just for simplicity's sake. We'll ask the question, and then the first person to message at Chain Dynamics publicly with the correct answer will be the winner, and I'll get your DOT address from you and send it to you after the show. One entry per person, please.
That's right. You can't just spam guesses. The first one is the one that we'll use.
So the question this week is, how many conflicting tickers are there currently on CoinMarketCap?
Interesting.
So the way that, remember when BCC came out, they had it listed as BCC and then they changed it to BCH?
I do remember that.
So there's more than just that conflict, and the question is, how many symbols conflict?
It's funny, this used to not happen very often. You know, people would kind of take a little bit more care to ensure that their new coin wasn't borrowing a symbol from something that was already out there.
Even if they were like just a regular old shit coin, they would make sure of that.
Yeah, and the high-profile coins, too. These days, nobody seems to care. The high-profile coins are perfectly fine with trying to snatch a ticker up from a smaller market cap coin.
Yep.
So the number of tickers with one or more copycat tickers has increased substantially. We're wondering, how many different tickers are there that are duplicated?
Well, I'll never forget how Dashcoin took that other Dashcoins thing.
Oh, yeah.
And now, the other Dashcoin, I think, still exists, but it's DSH now. Like, they were like, what?
Like, oh, man.
So
that's a funny example of the other coin just kind of going along with it. Usually it's like two dead coins. They don't even know about each other, and they just both try to keep the same ticker. But so that is the trivia question this week.
Good luck.
Alrighty, next we're going to jump into some user suggestions of coins to look at.
Yeah, we really appreciate those suggestions, and we're going to do our best to cover some of them here.
Alrighty, here we go. We got a bunch of suggestions this week. We're going to start it off with Heat Ledger.
Heat. We've talked about this one a little bit before.
Heat Ledger, it's an interesting coin, man. It's kind of exists in a weird space in the market. I think this one, it might have been first announced in 2015, but I think most people know it from coming onto the scene in the 2016 ICO time. The kind of its most obvious and distinguishing feature is that it has a built-in exchange where you can trade, among other things, Heat.
Yep.
That's always a good thing. There is some stiff competition these days in that market. There was a time when that was an incredibly unique feature, but you'll see it also these days on stuff like Waves.
Right.
And so they have, I think, struggled to build a presence in the broader market so far. You know, they've kind of, Heat has been where it's at, market-wise at least, for quite a long time.
Right.
It's also kept up. You know, they've done fine as far as fluctuations with the Bitcoin and everything. They have been keeping up with the overall market, so they're doing well in that sense. As far as what is going on with the project, the main focuses on this thing are the built-in exchange, but they also have a large focus on, you know, throughput and transactional performance, and they're also offering potential file storage solutions as well. So they're firing on a lot of, you know, modern new blockchain targets, you know.
For sure. I'm fascinated to find that they are not listed on any of, like, our favorite exchanges, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, they've been weirdly just kind of staying in their own zone, you know. It was a CCX, I think the ICO was on CCX.
And it's still listed there, I see. But that's not even where the volume is. The volume's all inside of the wallet.
And so I think that, you know, CCX doesn't really have a great reputation on the market right now, and I think that has kind of gone towards contributing to them kind of staying in that zone. But they do have their own built-in exchange. People have been trading on that exchange since it came out. They're still doing it today. And as far as the product goes, it's a good product, right? It's doing,
seems like it works.
It's following through on a lot of the features that much higher cap coins are following through on. The question is, does it kind of stay in its zone, or is it going to have the ability to break out into the broader space?
Right.
That remains to be seen, and I'm curious to see what happens with Heat. And it does seem like they're still
looks like it's chilling
still working
at 192 on the market cap.
192. Heat Ledger.
All right.
So yeah, check it out. It's more. I'd say it's most like Waves if you're used to Waves. I don't know if it has built-in like token creation or that kind of a focus like Waves does, but the built-in exchange is.
Yeah.
I
don't think it does that build. I don't think it has that simplicity of the, like, token creation that Waves does. That's for sure. I don't think it actually does that.
And I'm sure the Heat Ledger fans will tell me of 15 things that it does that Waves doesn't.
Yeah, let us know. Heck, we don't care. We'd love to hear it.
Alrighty, Heat Ledger. It's out there. It's keeping a low profile, but I think it's definitely worth looking at.
Up next, we're going to briefly look at QRL. That's the quantum resistant ledger.
Already, I tried to catch up on quantum resistant ledger. What I found is there's just a ton of FUD and arguing going on with this coin right now. One early, or maybe not early, but one team member from the ICO is really beefing with the other project founders, or the founders of the project.
Over like money or something?
Yeah, alleging mishandling and misappropriation of the ICO funds, alleging coins being moved to T-Rex, that kind of stuff. But those are big claims, and I usually like to see some validation of that kind of stuff, and I hadn't seen any of that from what I could see. And of course the developers pushed back on it and said, no, this guy was just kind of, he wanted to be a bigger part of the project than we wanted, and he got pissed at us and is kind of, now he has this vendetta against us.
Huh.
So a bit of just a classic, he said this situation.
So the goal of the project is just evident in the name, right? Their goal is to be prepared for quantum resistance when it becomes...
Exactly, yep. They want to build a transactable quantum-resistant ledger, which is interesting. The choice of an ERC20 token, like an ETH token, is interesting for me on that because, the implication there is that Ethereum itself is not quantum-resistant. So does that mean they're going to be building...
They'll just have to swap over,
Are they building their own platform? And then the ERC20 token is just for the distribution?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Yep.
They also have a testnet up, so that is a major milestone and a very that's something to watch out for. So in spite of all of the arguing and stuff, which can be difficult to see through, I'm always looking for, and especially when you're thinking about the value of a blockchain,
it's got to work.
Yeah, people beefing with each other, and even if the guy's right, and even if people are like misusing funds or whatever, if the product is good, it's going to perform well in the market probably.
It's already pretty high up there. This was one for me when it got listed on Bittrex. I don't think we had even heard of it yet.
Yes, I had not heard of it when it got listed. So yeah, this is a big do-your-own-research one for me. It's a really interesting premise. Looks like they are building it into a workable product. So yeah, check it out.
Okay. Another one from the thread this week was Monetary Unit.
Good old MUE.
We've talked about this one probably 2 or 3 times in the last year.
We highlighted it once a long time ago, and again more recently.
It's an old school coin, but it's got a living dev, and it has some interesting side projects.
You can do a lot with the blockchain.
For me, if I like, if longevity is a good sign in crypto, then this would be a coin to watch as it continues to age, I would say, because they're just kind of checking off the boxes in a certain way as far as technologies go. But,
right.
It seems like they're always there checking off that box at least.
Right. They're doing the work, They got the merchant integration. They've added the masternodes. They've got the community. They're firing on all cylinders and doing everything they can to distinguish their product from the similar ones in the field. But that also doesn't change that it is in a highly contested field, right? There are a lot of coins doing every single one of the things that MUE is trying to do.
Yeah.
But that said, they're doing a great job at it, right? In that they're competing well in that field.
Agreed.
But otherwise, I think that's where MUE is at right now.
It's worth checking out. Learn about it.
Yeah, watch it. They did real well during the Bittrex kind of rise this year.
Yeah, definitely. Dopecoin was mentioned to us. This looks like it was originally a 2014 coin, swapped over to Dopecoin 2.0, aka Dopecoin Gold, in February. There's lots of marijuana coins out there, so talk about a competitive field once again. Now you're in a competitive spot in a blockchain space. So how do you distinguish yourself, I guess, is the question. Most of them, it's kind of like a race to be accepted anywhere from how I see it.
Yep.
And everybody kind of is always on the edge of these deals. When I look through this thread, they're talking about, a California dispensary that they're talking to, and this dispensary maybe already accepts Bitcoins and, stuff like that. But I unfortunately could not find a spot where I could have actually bought marijuana with Dopecoin yet. And we've actually seen marijuana themed coins be under extra scrutiny from state governments that have legalized marijuana. So I'm kind of waiting for somebody to get it right. And I don't see why it couldn't be Dopecoin, but I don't see why it would be at this point either.
Yeah, I feel you completely on that one, man. So yeah, Dopecoin, another coin. It's out there. It's been out there. It's doing similar things to the others in its field. You know, they seem to be doing well enough at it, but is that enough? You know, I mean, how many merchants would do you have to bring on board for that to even make a difference, right? It's not like you're going to have one merchant and all of a sudden that's going to create this rush of demand, right? That doesn't make sense.
Right, unless it was like we've talked about before, the token could provide a discount, like a coupon.
Right.
But
and as always with these old coins, the markets have a dynamic unto themselves that is independent of anything to do with the fundamental nature.
Yeah,
of the
where the market moves in the next year is totally probably unrelated to what I just talked about.
So yeah, that's Dopecoin. It is still out there.
Good old XRB.
Speaking of coins that are still out there, still kicking, RAYBlocks.
That's RAYBlocks. This coin's distribution has to be one of the most novel aspects of it.
Right, that's what kicked them into the limelight to the extent that they've ever been in the limelight, is this CAPTCHA-based kind of proof of humans clicking buttons method of distributing the coin.
It went through one kind of community explosion of falling apart, and then it was revived, I remember.
The faucet was brought back.
Yep. The distribution stopped for a bit, I guess would be the best thing to say.
Yep. It's never really made it onto major exchanges. It was on Cryptopia briefly, but they had to delist it because of the support volume that it was creating.
Yeah.
Essentially, the network wasn't super stable at that point, and then you had all these people grinding captchas every day that were like filing tickets to try to get their coins. So that kind of made it seem difficult for exchanges to get RAYBlocks listed. That said, since then, it has been trading on a couple of exchanges for quite a while. I don't remember the names of them. They're smaller exchanges, but they're out there, and they've been trading RAYBlocks for quite a while at this point. It's established its own market in its own way. It had a huge OTC market for a long time.
Right.
It kind of finally has reached some degree of stability, I guess, in its own smaller market. So the question is there something else for RAYBlocks? Is there more here? I know that they are still working on it. There have been improvements to the code. There have been improvements to the ability for it to be listed. And so there's always that kind of tantalizing hope that people have, is this going to break through into the major, Bittrex, basically, the markets that people are really interested in.
The one thing that's
or maybe get back on Cryptopia. I don't know. That doesn't seem
who knows? But I
likely,
mean,
but
I can understand that excitement too for current RAYBlocks holders, because after you've had that much over-the-counter trading, oftentimes just any type of extra market interest from people that weren't exposed to it before can at least cause more volume to kick up. And, people like volume almost more than the direction of the price half the time.
Well, people doing OTC trading and stuff are going to look at market caps, in the hundreds of thousands to millions and being like, all right, that's a shitload for a coin that's not on any trading market. When something hits Bittrex, people will look at a coin and be like, all right, here's a coin with some interesting features. Is $1 million a low market cap for that right now? I don't know what the RAYBlocks market cap actually is right now. But
I can try to look it up for you.
Point being, once it gets that exposure level on Bittrex, people might find that they're willing to consider a much higher price.
It's at about $10.5 million,
really?
Actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. All right. So they're getting up there then already.
Yeah, they're at 180.
RAYBlocks. But much like Heat Ledger, it's a coin that's doing really well in its own sphere outside of the main exchanges. And everyone's kind of hoping it breaks through. The question is, will it? And does it need to, right? Is that the most important thing for a coin to get listed on these big exchanges? Because especially with a product like Heat Ledger that has its own built-in exchange, people can access the product, right? One of the main features of the coins is that it can sidestep the traditional markets. And so, we've seen the one exchange or the big exchange power diminish this year. And these decentralized exchanges are kind of doing more to do that. And so you might see a situation where a coin like RAYBlocks doesn't ever need a big exchange to continue to grow and add users and stuff.
Yep. That is a very good point. It'll be interesting.
And that is XRB RAYBlocks. The final coin on our list of user mentions this week is Healthy Worm Coin.
Good old Healthy Worm Coin.
We visited this one a few times in the past. It's a fun coin out there, fun idea.
This is a coin from a notable coin developer. I got Spots.
Yep. Big, well-known developer of proof-of-stake coins from days gone by.
Lots of experiments with high staking percentages. And this one started off with a really high staking percentage, but it seems to have sort of come down a lot.
Yeah, that's where that's at now. The staking rate is down to a more, I think it's 17% right now, so down to a more normal level. So that tells you that the supply will have stabilized. The people who got the coins early and staked them, including potentially the developer, because there's a large pre-mine, obviously. I think he was not staking it. I don't remember for sure, to be honest. But or maybe he staked it a couple times just to do bounties or whatever. Either way, when you have a coin with a high stake rate that descends into a low one, there's a higher chance for people who know how to stake things well to clean up a large portion of the supply. But then on the other side, the price is really low, 137,000 market cap. So maybe if there was ever a chance to get into Healthy Worm coin, it's right now. But this isn't a coin that I would think of as an investment, right? For me, it's a coin where if I wanted to buy some worms, I'd be like, sweet.
Right, yeah, sure.
Hell yeah, I'll buy some Healthy Worm. I'll send you some Healthy Worm coin to get some worms back.
So you're saying it can probably get about as big as any worm farm company from that practical perspective?
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I also went to the worm store and it was out of stock on everything. So is the worm store still happening? I don't know.
All right.
So Wormcoin, it's still out there. That's really kind of where it's at.
Cool. So thanks for those suggestions. We'll try to take a look at some more suggestions from people next week.
That's true. And with that, we are going to jump right in to this week's new coins. They slowed down this week, man. Not just the number of posts, but really just in general slowdown.
Mm-hmm. First up, we do the proof of work, proof of stake coins. First on the list there is Linda's Sister coin.
Linda's Sister. So the coins that we cover in the new coins section these days, we can't cover all the ICOs because they just are spamming posts that don't really have anything behind them. So basically, if it's an actual blockchain that made it to becoming a blockchain,
we like those.
That's kind of when I try to cover it.
At least we can.
They're often ridiculous, but that's our standard these days.
So as you remember, Linda was a coin that got pumped.
Linda coin.
This must be Linda's sister we're looking at here.
Linda's sister's coin. Linda's sister coin.
Yeah,
that's funny. LSC
doesn't even get her own name.
So does this have masternodes too? Is it even that kind of a clone? Is it an actual clone of Linda? Or is it just its own, wallet builders type thing?
I'm not seeing the masternode information here.
This is pretty funny. They copied the simple logo. And just
they didn't
jammed
do it
an
as
S
good.
into it.
Yeah.
This is funny. This is a very on the nose. You see people copy the theme of a coin, but you rarely see people just be like, this is Linda's sister coin. All right, it's just a high pre-mine coin. There's nothing special
Yep,
here.
high pre-mine.
Low effort, high pre-mine. Next on the list here, we have Vprocoin. This is a pretty obvious wallet builders coin.
Another wallet builders.
The classic formula, low effort, high pre-mine. What I do like about this is that it is a one-letter ticker. You used to see more of that,
Mm-hmm.
Ucoin,
Yep.
Acoin. I think some exchanges won't even allow the one-letter ticker anymore. This one's ticker is just V. That's what they're going with.
Huh.
But you won't be seeing much of it because probably never hear about it again, really.
We got a 6-letter ticker coming up for the new coin, or the additions this week.
Do we? Nice.
Yeah.
I wonder what the longest major exchange listed ticker
I don't know.
is.
I can recall a time when somebody, it was probably back when we had Cryptsy and MintPal or something, but somebody was like, oh, no, that won't work. They can't do more than 3 letters.
They were really that limited?
To some coin, yeah.
I wonder what the...
And then, of course, that's not the case at all
So
anymore.
what was that? Begs the question what the first 4-letter ticker was, because those are common, super common.
Dime was old. I don't know.
That's an old one.
I don't know what happened. We can try to figure that out.
That'd be a sweet trivia
Yep.
question. Okay, here we go. Next on our new coins list is
CrocodileCash.
CrocodileCash. Strength in basking.
Nice.
Ticker is Croc, C-R-O-C.
SHA 256. Oh, the DPOS.
A DPOS, an SHA 256 high pre-mine DPOS. Whew. That's a good feature. So speaking of, if you want a proof of stake system that will allow you to gain control of a large percentage of the supply with a pre-mine, DPOS is going to be it. So anyway, yeah, this is just another high pre-mine clone coin, but it's funnier than the other ones. It's got a funnier picture of a crocodile, a muscular
it's
crocodile.
a tough-looking croc.
Who are the people? The people who have
He's
the
been
job of
drinking his milk.
I need you to draw a muscular crocodile, please.
All right.
So that's CrocodileCash. It's nothing special.
There's also a coin called Chips that came out.
Chips. What do we got here?
Looks like he's
This is
interested in the Lightning Network a little bit.
This is a light post, not a lot here.
Mm-mm.
At least there won't be an ICO. So it's a coin for betting. And he wants to test the Lightning Network. All right, it's a Bitcoin fork for this guy to test the Lightning Network, but he's calling it Chips.
Huh.
That's what's going on here.
Interesting.
So
it looks very much like a test right now, but you never know with this stuff.
I didn't see a lot this week. So
All right.
I think of everything, maybe if you're really bored and you have an SHA miner, you could look at it, but you're probably not going to see much here.
It at least looks, if he's working on something interesting like that and somebody is interested in that type of technology, it might be the perfect coin for them to learn about.
Okay.
There's another coin called Namo coin.
Namo coin. This is just a... This is another clone.
This is a clone, pretty typical, saying that they're going to
Bunch of
create their
ideas.
own features that aren't even ideas yet. Information very soon. Keep watching.
Namo coin.
All right, we'll keep watching Namo coin.
You fired off
We'll
another
see you
one.
then.
We also had a pre-announcement that turned into an announcement. Bithuman was launched.
Okay.
So what's the deal with Bithuman?
Ooh, this is a wordy one.
It's a crypto note. Crypto note coin of the week.
Ah,
That's
there
all
it is.
There it
Ooh,
is.
I was worried almost for a second.
We almost had a week without a crypto note coin, but Bithuman launched. Saved us.
All right.
Okay, generic crypto note coin, and it has the problem that I always have with all of these is that they don't ever mention if they fixed the Bitcoin bug.
We got to bust out that crypto
We need
note coin index
Yeah.
someday.
crypto, all the crypto note
see how they're
coins.
doing.
That'd be an interesting list. All right, that is it for the proof of work, proof of stake coins. I think real quiet week,
Very quiet.
to be honest. I think the last big launch I can think of was maybe Signatum. What would be before that? That one coin. There's a coin, Bridge coin, that finally launched. Yeah, not a lot of launches lately, really.
There was an airdrop this week. That's over, of course. They're always over by the time we tell you about them. But this one was WalletbuildersCoin.
Nice.
It says here that this is aimed to shed light on the atrocity that is Wallet Builders coins.
So in order to do that, they've commissioned a Wallet Builders coin, probably.
Right.
But they gave it all away, so yeah, it's out there. Wallet Builders coin airdrop happened this week.
And in our relaunch, re-announcement, pre-announcement, other category, we have Gay.money.
Yeah, I'm sure you've been wondering what's been going on with Gay coin. They have rebranded to Gay.money.
Okay.
But this is just, it's like an old Bitcoin clone. They're just rebranding it. There's nothing too exciting here.
20% interest is a lot.
It is a high proof of stake. X11 proof of stake is
POW
the
ended.
coin here.
Yeah. POW's over.
All right, they're out there. I always love these charts where they're like, check out our altcoin versus Bitcoin. It's like, yeah, that's fine. You can compare it to Bitcoin. But
Oh, yeah. There's that one Twitter account that says, if this coin was Bitcoin, it would be worth this. Remember that or something?
Yep, yeah, totally. Yeah, that's basically what they're trying to do is like, but let's pretend that this coin might ever be competitive with Bitcoin, and we'll ignore every other altcoin as part of the comparison. But yep, so they are relaunching that one. That's Gay.money. That's pretty much it for the coin listings this week, man. Not too much in there. Linda's sister coin's the funniest, I guess. It's the most in your face.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think CrocodileCash is the funniest person.
You're right. You might be right, actually.
At least picture-wise.
CrocodileCash.
Chips is the most interesting to me.
Chips is the only one that's not just like a pre-mine
Yeah.
shit clone.
Chips is interesting enough that you can't really tell what's happening. So,
Good point. At the same time, there's very little there to go on, but sometimes very little is better than something that's there and bad.
All right.
New coins, that's it.
The new coins are done.
All right, let's bounce next into our listings segment this week.
Cool. I noticed that Cryptopia was actually listing some during the show, so I guess those won't be on this list. We'll look at them next week.
We'll catch them next week, yeah.
Cryptopia added AdShares, DDF, Etheria, DCorp, BitRadio, CoinatX, Alphabit, ArtByte, Ox, Dalecoin, NamoCoin, and InvestFeed.
Alrighty, nice.
Hey, look,
little
there's
list.
NamoCoin. They're already there. They made
Already to Cryptopia. That tells you something. So somebody
paid for a listing.
Somebody put a little bit of money behind NamoCoin. Yep.
All right.
What else we got here on listings? Poloniex, nothing.
No.
Bittrex didn't list anything this week?
No.
Not that we could find, at least. Novaexchange, they listed a ton, as is their way. What do we got here? RUPIA,
Yep.
Magic Coin, Edit Coin, JOCKER Coin, Atom Coin, Club Coin, XFUNK, W3C, Linda's sister. She made it. Bitcoin Cash Collector Coin. Nice.
Yeah.
That's funny. XFUNK, Deep Onion, that Vprocoin. That's listed, man. ERSO, or another O'Reilly coin.
This is a different O'Reilly coin,
Oh
yes.
my god. Japan Coin, Paradox, Neutron, FRAZ Coin, Excel Coin, Sojourn, Visio, Blakestar, plus Gold Union Coin, Timerium.
Timerium. Nice. That ticker is
my
TME. You know, not like they're trying to confuse anyone.
No, they're definitely not trying to mix people up with any other time or Irium coins. We had finally usable crypto karma. Nice.
You do the abbreviation in your head.
Yep. Figure out the ticker there for finally usable crypto karma. And then we have BRAT Red. Final coin there. That's a big old list.
CoinExchange.io also listed a few. They listed Smart Cash, Jin ERSO, Rcoin, AGRI Novus Coin, Etheria, Runners, Coinonat X, and Visio.
You know, I think we're really starting to see the end of the Bitcoin Talk announcement era, man. Because I'm looking at some of this stuff. I didn't know about Timerium.
Yeah, we got to jump
We didn't see
over
that
to that
one.
Bitcoin Garden.
What's Timerium about?
We got to jump over to those
I'm not
other
saying
forums.
it's good, but I'd like to know what it's about.
Yep.
More and more coins are getting into the mix without going through the conventional channels.
Mm-hmm.
We need somebody needs to come up with an aggregator that can catch them all. Someone other than me, of course. All right. So, yeah, a ton of listings this week.
I mean, looking back through there, I'm impressed at how many new coins ended up on this list. Like,
Yeah.
people aren't they might be shit coins, but the people behind them are at least playing the game. It looks
Yeah,
like.
it's true. They're paying for those listings. Is Novaexchange a pay listing situation?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
They also have a vote, but I mean, the pay is the way.
Yeah,
to
we
get
know
on
how
there.
that is. The vote will account for one a week out of these 25 that get added.
Yeah.
All right. So that is going to do it for our listings this week. And as per usual, we're going to jump into our final segment, the best segment. It's the birthdays.
The birthdays. This is always fun just to look back. The qualifications are essentially you have a block explorer, and I can verify when your blockchain started. You get a birthday if I can find it, or if you let me know.
Who gets one? Who do we got this week?
1 year birthday, Benji Rolls.
Benji Rolls, nice. This one stands out to me. So this dude who made Benji Rolls, I forget his Bitcoin Talk handle. He's made like, God.
Is it the belligerent fool?
Yes. He's made like 25 coins probably this year and last year. They're all basically the same thing. For some reason, Benji Rolls stands out in my head, so it's funny to me that this one
Well, it made it a year.
still has a block explorer after a year. I wonder if is he just keeping all of these coins rolling?
I don't know, man. But happy birthday.
Congrats to Benji Rolls.
Another really cool birthday this week was Pascal Coin.
Oh, shoot.
That was on 8/11/2016.
Happy birthday to Pascal. That's a big one.
Yep.
Hard to believe. So Pascal came out 8/11.
Yeah.
When did it get on Poloniex? That must have been January.
Yeah,
it
that
was
feels
early
right.
January time.
So watch for coins this time of year, right?
Yeah, what a whirlwind,
why
man.
not?
Shit.
On the 3-year list, happy birthday to Burst Coin.
Burst Coin.
That was 8/11/2014 that one came out.
I love Burst Coin, man. Really innovative proof of storage thing. It's dope.
Mm-hmm.
All right, happy 3-year birthday to Burst Coin. Sweet.
Cool.
Alrighty. I think that is going to wrap it up here at Blockchain Dynamics number 74. We're brought to y'all by Cryptopia.co.nz. Got to check them out.
That's right.
Great futures, interesting projects, everything you could want in a altcoin exchange.
Check out our archives on blockchaindynamics.net. This was episode number 74. We'll see you next week with heavier bags.
Currency. Like a couple Bitcoins. Money, 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 up on my Nakamoto.